Faizal Khamisa with Hockey Central insider Chris Johnston to break down the Tampa Bay Lightning Chicago Blackhawks trade that sees Tyler Johnson in a second-round pick going to Chicago for Brent Seabrook, essentially his contract going the other way. Chris, I'll start with this from the Tampa Bay perspective. How much financial flexibility did they gain in this deal?
Well, the beauty of it, I think, Faisal, is essentially they're subtracting Tyler Johnson's $5 million cap charge at the price of the second round pick in 2023 that they sent Chicago. And, this is significant. There's sort of a debate at times about what, a salary cap dump should cost a team. We saw, years ago, for example, the Toronto Maple Leafs had to send a first round pick to Carolina with Patrick Marleau's deal. There's only 1 year left on that contract. In this case, of course, Chicago's getting a player in Tyler Johnson who had a great playoffs for Tampa and winning a second straight cup. He's still a player that can play, but it didn't cost a lot to cut his cap hit out of the Tampa's future. And they've allowed themselves then to protect their better, younger players going forward as they go for a three-peat next season.
Now, Chris, from Chicago's perspective, they had an interesting Tuesday helping out a couple teams. One, taking on Marc-Andre Fleury and his contract from Vegas, and now taking on Tyler Johnson from Tampa as well. But it does also make them a little bit better of a hockey team, right?
I would say so. They've actually had, if you go back even to the Duncan Keith trade, that they were able to save some money with the trade they made in sending Keith to Edmonton. And Stan Bowman's been very active in addressing his team since. Now, I think that the biggest question is, will Marc-Andre Fleury report to Chicago? Is he willing to play in Chicago? I don't think as we're taping this right now, having this conversation, that decision's been made. But the early sense is that Marc-Andre Fleury probably doesn't want to be a member of the Blackhawks. And so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Do they maybe trade him on to another team? Are they willing to retain some of his salary, maybe to get some assets back? I mean, I think it's a little soon to say how that will play out. But, between getting Seth Jones, adding Tyler Johnson, moving some things around cap-wise, and I think that they could also be a bit of a low-key player in free agency here. This has been a big week for the Blackhawks, and they're trying to not do a full rebuild, but a bit of a retool on the fly with still having Patrick Kane around and Jonathan Toews due to return this coming season. So, it's been an interesting offseason moves for them, and I think they still have balls in the air. Pretty clearly, they're motivated to be aggressive.
32 teams with balls in the air right now getting set for free agency to kick off. Chris, it's a big week for you as well, so we'll let you go. But thank you for your insights.